Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called A Better Offer. I worked at company A for over 8 years, to the point I had no intentions of going anywhere else. I planned to retire with them in around 30 years, as long as they kept treating me fairly. Reviews came up, and everyone in my team was given a lackluster raise, even though we had improved the program from being years behind on contracts to delivering 2 months ahead. I had taken on tasks that should have been distributed across multiple engineers, but they didn't want to pay extra engineers, so they became my tasks instead. After the raises were dished out, my team confronted our manager and told him how disappointed we were. His response was, "Get a better job offer and we'll discuss things." So I did just that. I found a better job at a smaller company where I would get a 20% raise and less responsibility. Once I had my offer letter, I turned it in, along with a month's notice of my resignation. The manager wanted to discuss what it would take to keep me. I met him with a list of all my accomplishments, which he already had from review time, and told him I believed a better raise was justified. I told him 2 months ago that's what it would have taken to keep me. Today you have to beat this offer of a 20% raise and fewer responsibilities. He responded with, "I can't get anywhere close to that. I should have told him I wasn't satisfied, etc." He then went through the list of my accomplishments and stated how half of them weren't required for my position. I asked for what was required of my position and did just that for the remainder of my time there. Now I've got a better job with fewer responsibilities and better pay, and a boss who doesn't try to gaslight me. Friends in company A tell me how they still haven't shipped any new products since I left 3 months ago, so now they are behind. Multiple people have already left, and the remaining people are looking for new jobs. The next story is called Following Policies. It's my birthday month, and while some stores offer their loyalty members or club card holders certain perks, like the garden store let me pick out a little potted plant, and the perfume store gave me a free travel size perfume, some stores only offer a discount code, and only if you make a purchase, which honestly seems a bit odd to me. I'm in France, and typically birthday perks come with no strings attached. Just a small free item you can pick up in store. No obligations. For example, I ordered some wooden advent calendars for my kiddo to decorate during the upcoming school break. After placing the order, I suddenly received an email offering me a birthday discount. 5 euros off my next purchase when I spent 20 euros. I had already set my delivery for in-store pickup, so I just returned, refunded the items, and rebought them using the 5 euro voucher. But the real fun came from a visit to the tech store. I had received a gift card for my birthday and had been eyeing some items for my horse. When I arrived, I saw I had a 20% off coupon for all items, but it was only valid starting next week. I found the items I wanted in the color I liked, but there was only one of each left. I asked the cashier if they would restock or could order more if the items sold out before the sale. This is a common request, as they can typically order anything from their catalog, so it's not rude to ask. The cashier, however, said no. I then asked if they could hold the items for me, or if I could call in advance to check stock. Again, she said no. This was so strange to me, because normally they have no problem holding items for 24 hours. But she stuck to company policy and said she wouldn't do it. Okay, I can respect that. So I asked about the return policy and how long I had to return an item. She said 30 days. I went ahead and bought the items. Next week, when my 20% voucher becomes valid, I simply return and repurchase them at the discount. When the cashier realized my plan, she actually smiled. We both stuck to company policy, and I got the items I wanted while ensuring they remained in stock. Plus now she has a legitimate reason to order more for the store. It's a win-win. The third story is called Apology Email. Way back in the winter of 06-07, a classmate of mine got a promotion at work. So about a dozen of us from the night shift production team decided to go out and celebrate that first day, payday. Even a couple of his supervisors, who we got along with, joined in. Being in our early 20s, we stayed out until the bar closed, then split off to continue the night. 5 of us, including 3 classmates, went to his place. The 4th person was a fellow tech from my line, and the 5th was a production tester from his line. My classmates were getting a bit more hands-on with person number 5, so I decided to drive number 4 home around 5 AM. Fast forward to that Sunday. I made a light-hearted comment to classmate number 2 while working on the line, saying, "Usually you take them to dinner first." A couple of people who had been with us overheard, and that comment, my only one, spread. A couple of weeks went by, and one day, in the middle of my shift, my line manager sent me to see HR. This was somewhat expected, based on the chatter I'd been hearing. I spent almost an hour getting questioned, but I told HR exactly what I had seen and said. I also made sure to mention that the 2 supervisors were there. Turns out, 2 things had happened. First, people had been spreading rumors for the past couple of weeks. And second, she had been underage for the bar. Rumors had escalated, with some calling her rather inappropriate names. HR pinned me as the source and required me to send out an apology email based on my original comment. So I sent one, but I didn't just send it to a few people. I CC'd the entire company. I stated exactly what I had seen and clarified that I was only apologizing for my initial comment. Usually you take them to dinner first, and nothing beyond that, because I didn't contribute to the rumors. I also pointed out that her supervisors, who were there, should have known her age. Interestingly enough, the next day, HR sent out an email reminding people not to spread rumors. She ended up leaving a week later. In July 2007, I was promoted, and funny enough, there was no mention of the email or the event when I was promoted again in 2009 and 2010. Even during my exit interview in 2010, it never came up. HR never had another meeting with me, despite other complaints I knew had been made, almost as if they didn't want to risk another company-wide email. The next story is called If You Don't Like It. I've been working with a home health agency for almost 9 months. I do 12-hour shifts, with cases ranging from complex to simple. In that time, I've worked 11 unscheduled doubles and picked up 42 additional 12-hour overtime shifts. I've only taken 2 sick days, one for myself and one for my child. I'm always punctual, I don't call out, and I never cut corners, even though they've suggested it. When I take vacations, it's on my off days. I've also saved them from failing audits on 3 occasions. I picked up so many shifts for 3 reasons. The money was good, I generally care about my patients, and they begged me to help. The company loves to take on new clients, even when they don't have enough staff to cover the cases. Then they panic, offering bonuses to get us to pick up shifts. These are government contracted jobs with big money coming in. If they can prove the patient was cared for, they face hefty fines. Too many fines, and they lose the ability to take on new contracts. The company is a mess. They have 8 schedulers, yet they still send mass texts at all hours, asking us to pick up shifts. They often double book or randomly change schedules without notifying clients or nurses. They also pay less than other companies in my area, and they are slow to respond to questions, calls or texts. For a while now, I've been looking for other opportunities. I found a new company that pays more, has good leadership, and offered me a position closer to home once I completed the hiring process. I've been with them for about a month, though I hadn't started working yet. Now, here's where the malicious compliance kicks in. I knew I'd be out of town for a few days, and I had 9 days of PTO saved up. Trying to help out, I requested 3 days off well in advance, on September 13 for October. It was a mini vacation with my family, as I had worked all summer. On Monday, I received an angry email saying that the deadline for PTO requests had been September 10th. I explained that I was trying to help by giving them time to fill my shifts. The manager called me selfish for for leaving them short-handed and rejected my request. On Tuesday, I went to the office to discuss the situation. I mentioned my excellent track record and how I had been trying to make things easier for them. She slammed her fists on the table and said, "You will work those days. I don't care if you have a trip planned to Australia. You'll be there. If you don't like it, you can leave." Her smirk is what set me off. I stood up, took a mint and said, "As you wish. I expect all my PTO to be in my next paycheck, in line with state PTO laws. Good luck filling the shifts on such short notice." The look of shock on her face was priceless. In the past 24 hours, I've received 19 voicemails, asking if I can come into work because they are short-staffed. Tonight is my first shift with the new company. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. The last story is called Take Your Stuff. A couple of years ago, I had an experience at a company where I worked as their media designer, handling everything from graphic design, photography, live event AV to video editing. Over the years, my responsibilities kept piling up until I was essentially doing the work of at least 4 people. On top of that, the company never provided funding for any of the materials I needed, so I had to buy everything out of my own pocket. Every piece of equipment had my name on it, to ensure it wouldn't get lost when I landed out. By my 5th year, I had accumulated thousands of dollars worth of high-end equipment, all through second-hand purchases and deal hunting. It was vital to their promotions and event productions. One day, out of the blue, I was called into my boss's office. They told me they were downsizing and had hired someone fresh out of college, with no experience, to take over my role, along with a few other responsibilities. I was stunned. Then they had someone from corporate follow me to my office to help me clean out my stuff with a clear instruction. Take everything that is yours. You won't be coming back. What they didn't realize was that nearly all the equipment used for the events was mine. They were probably expecting me to leave with a small box of personal items. Instead, we spent the next while hauling crate after crate of media and event supplies to my car. I had a Ford Explorer, and by the time we were done, it was packed full. With every load, my boss's face grew more panicked. At one point, he even said, "You can only take things that are yours." I calmly told him that everything I was taking was mine, and offered to show him the receipts if he had any doubts. I told him I needed access to the AV booth and catwalk in the arena. The look of fear in his eyes was unforgettable. I went in and unplugged all my cameras that I had been lending to the events team, each one clearly marked with my name. I felt a bit like the Grinch stealing Christmas, but I was only taking what rightfully belonged to me. Driving away, I felt heartbroken that a company I had put my heart into for so long had decided to replace me with someone inexperienced. But the look on their faces as I took everything was priceless. In hindsight, it was the most toxic job I ever had. The company didn't last much longer, only about a year before they folded. I like to think that by taking what was mine, I played a part in that. If they had just compensated me fairly and invested in their own equipment, instead of forcing me to provide it, they wouldn't have had to start from scratch. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.